Hi everyone, thank you for coming to this meetup. Last week we talked about our PAL-10S for urine-specific gravity and the importance of measuring for dehydration. It was applicable to racing industries, hospitals, a variety of different industries. Today we'll be talking about another one of our popular units, most popular units, our PAL-3. This unit is perfect for a variety of different industries. It has a very high bricks of 0 to 93%. So for this reason, it's perfect for the sweet industry, great for measuring chocolates, as well as oils. So just a great overall unit. And we're going to start off by kind of going over a little brief overview here. So if you guys can see here, this is our PAL-3. Like I said, it's full range bricks for this, so 0 to 93%. Works perfectly for measuring a variety of different samples, so cakes, sweets, chocolate, sauces, jams, fondant, frosting glazes, sauces, even milks. This thing can measure milk, solvents, soaps, and lotions. So a variety of different applications that this unit works super well in. If you have a sample that you need to measure high bricks, this is the unit that you want to be using. So like I said, this model has very high measurement range, also high measurement accuracy. This one has a plus or minus 0.1% bricks. So this is the highest accuracy model in our PAL series. So very unique unit here. This unit also has an IP65 rating for dust and water resistance. So it is not waterproof, but it is highly water resistant. This is really a must-have unit in any industry, but specifically for the food industry. I think this unit is super applicable and you will not be disappointed at all. If you would like to try a free demo, please feel free to contact us and we would be more than happy to get you situated with a demo unit. So for zero setting for this unit, just like most of our other units, there are a couple steps we're going to take before we do our measurements today. So to zero set this instrument, you're going to do this at the beginning of each day, as well as before initial use and after replacing the batteries, just to make sure that the unit is working properly and you're getting that correct number that you are looking for in terms of bricks. So if you had just been using the unit or had used it the previous day, you want to make sure that the sample stage is clean of any residue. I know cakes and chocolate, a variety of different sweets have kind of like an oily residue, so you just want to make sure that the unit is completely clean, wiped off. You can use a mild soap in water to rinse the unit and wipe. So just make sure that the unit is nice and clean before doing your zero setting, as well as before taking any additional measurements. So we're going to start by pressing the start button. So right here, make sure it's all turned on, your batteries are in there. All right, and so for this one, we're going to apply a small amount of water. Like that. Make sure you're getting enough water on the prism. Just like that, as you can see. And you're going to press this button right here, our zero set button right here. Press 0. Alright. And as you can see, it's reading perfect. 0, 0, 0, which means that our unit is now zero set. Okay. Then you're going to want to take your lint-free cloth and just just like that. Super easy cleanup for this unit. Alright, so as I've mentioned in a couple of our other meetups, you want to make sure that you're not using any metal tools when applying your sample to the prism. This could cause scratching and cause kind of odd measurement readings. So you want to avoid any metal. We recommend plastic or wood for using these PAL units. You also want to note that the initial measurements may fluctuate with hot or cold samples. If you have, let's say, cake in the fridge, you want to let it sit out for a little while or apply it to the prism and let it sit for a little bit so it acclimates to the temperature. You want to make sure that everything is acclimated. Also, if you have a hot sample like chocolate, you want to make sure that it is acclimating correctly before you are taking your measurements. So just make sure that the instrument is acclimated to the sample temperature. So about 20 seconds is probably fine for this, and then you can hit the start button and your measurement will show up. Alternatively, you can press the start button multiple times until the measurement becomes stable, if that's also something you want to do, if you're not wanting to wait. So for these, we don't recommend putting water above 50 degrees Celsius on here. It is made out of plastic, so you want to be mindful of that when using these instruments. When measuring hot samples, you want to place only the necessary amount and do not let it overflow from the sample stage well. So that's good to know for like chocolate syrups or any like jams, marmalades, any sample that could be a little warmer. You want to make sure that it's not overflowing and spilling outside here. So I know, like I mentioned, sometimes samples, especially with like frostings or fondants or chocolate, they can be a little oily. So you also want to make sure when hot water is necessary to clean off hardened samples. I know chocolate sometimes can get a little harder when you are measuring, waiting for it to acclimate to the temperature. It can harden up a little bit. You want to use water-soaked gauze around the prism area and keep hot water away from the body of the case. So this is in extreme cases, but you just want to be mindful of that as well. So the display temperature is that of the prism and may not necessarily match the temperature of the sample as well. You just want to be mindful of that. In addition, and like I mentioned, no metal tools to use this. So today I have prepared a couple different samples just to show you the versatility of this unit. I do have some lotion in addition to a cake. I have a bundt cake. I will be measuring both the cake as well as the cream cheese frosting and the lotion. So we're going to discuss a little bit about samples for this unit. So you want to wipe the prism clean, like I mentioned, and then once you put your sample, you're going to press the start button, and you can either wait for sample to acclimate, or you can continuously just kind of press the start button until it does not change, until your measurement remains constant for this unit. This unit also has the LCD auto shut-off, so the instrument will turn itself off after 2 minutes of inactivity. Just like most of our other PAL units, they have this amazing feature, so you are saving batteries. Our instruments are designed with you in mind to make your life easier, so having certain features like the auto shut-off, LCD auto shut-off, we're trying to make your lives easier and save you money. So replacing batteries constantly if you forget to leave or turn your unit off is not going to be good. So we keep ATAGO keeps kind of all of these factors in mind when we design units for our customers. So that's just an important thing and something that comes in handy. So they will shut off after 2 minutes of inactivity. You can also manually turn it off. Just press and hold down the start button for longer than 2 seconds. Also to mention, for oily or fatty samples, try stirring the sample on the prism while measuring. This will improve the repeatability of the oily and fatty samples. So just a little background on that. So now I'm gonna demo. So I mentioned we have some cake. I mentioned we have some cake here. So I have bundt cake. This is a pumpkin cake that I got from the store. So we're gonna start off by measuring the cake itself. You can turn the unit on. Okay. And for this unit, like I mentioned, very versatile. I'll be using cake and pumpkin for this. So you're gonna put your sample on and make sure you just squish it down so that no external light is being emitted into the unit. These are digital units, meaning we do not need any external light. Our analogs require external. These are completely digital, so all of the lighting is internal, meaning that you don't need to do that. So we're going to press the start button. Just like that. And press it one more time. Okay, so it's acclimating a little bit. Like I said, this was in the fridge, so we're just going to keep pressing until we get a stable reading. All right. Go. It's getting a little closer now. 67.7. Okay, we have gotten our stable reading. So the cake for this is 67.7 bricks. One more time. All right. Perfect. Stable reading for that one. Alright, so now we're going to try sampling our frosting and seeing if there's any difference between the two. Make sure you clean your prism each time. There was a little bit of oily residue on the cake, so you just want to make sure to clean it well. Just like that. Alright, so now we're going to try our frosting and see if it's any different. Make sure you get enough sample on your prism, and you just want to make sure you squish it down really well, like that. Just so you're getting an accurate reading. You don't want any external light getting in to your unit. So now we're going to press the start button. So looks like our frosting has a higher bricks than the cake itself. Just going to let it acclimate a little bit more. You can keep pressing that start button. 72.8. Press it one more time. Alright. Getting there, letting it acclimate a little bit. 72.6. Alright, looks like it is pretty stable. Alright, so our reading for the frosting is 72.6 for bricks. So higher than the cake, which is to be expected. I believe frosting has more sugar, more bricks than the actual bundt cake itself. Alright, so that was our cake sample. And this frosting has a significant amount of oily residue in it, so you just want to make sure you're getting it nice and clean. just like that. And if you don't have any lint-free cloths for your PAL units, we do sell these as well. They're a great little kind of easy cleanup tool to have when working with your PALs because they are lint-free. They will not scratch or leave any weird fiber particles behind on the unit. Just like that. Just make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, perfect. So super easy cleanup for these. If I had a sink in here, it would probably take even less time. So that's just important to know. If you want to wipe quickly with a sponge and a little bit of warm water, that would probably make it go a little quicker. So that was our cake. And also to note for these, this unit also has an NFC feature. So much like our other units, that is the touch and go data transfer, where it will record all of your data as well as the time and date that you took your measurements at, and will transfer to either your smartphone or PC depending on how you want your data transferred. So that is just important to note for these. A great way to kind of monitor for consistency in samples. This is super important, I know, especially for the food industry. Consistency is key, really, especially if you're a little small shop. It's good to know the Brex level of all of your products, so customers aren't going to be complaining when something is sweeter one day and not as sweet the next day. So consistency is really important, and these units are really the tool to get you to where you need to be. I know I explained a lot about the versatility of these units, so I also wanted to demo with some lotion I have on hand as well. So this is just a sweet pea lotion, so we can go ahead and measure the bricks for this as well. I also just want to point out that the unit did shut off, so that LCD auto shut off feature is super helpful and handy. In case I forget to turn off the unit, we're going to turn it back on, just like that, and we're going to apply the lotion. Squeeze it down a little bit, make sure you're covering the entirety of the prism, just like that. And we will press the start button. 15.1. This lotion was a little cold, so let's keep pressing to see if we can get a stable reading. So the rule of thumb here is as soon as you're pressing about three times and you're getting a stable reading, that is probably your best number to go with. It's stable, it's not changing up or down, it's being consistent throughout. So our rule of thumb is about 3 presses for the start button, and that is your reading. I do want to try it one more time just to make sure. See, it went down a little bit, so just stabilizing itself. Okay, so we got our 15.0. Press the button 3 times, and there we got our reading. And you saw me kind of press the sample down a little bit. Like I mentioned, you just want to make sure that your sample is all the way pressed down on the prism. This is especially important for solid foods like the cake. There's going to be a lot of empty space around the prism, or even frosting, there can be bubbles. You just want to make sure that your sample is completely pressed down. I know when I first used this unit, it wasn't reading correctly, and it was because I had not pressed down the sample all the way. So that's just something important to note, and something that could be useful if you are experiencing that issue as well. So this is our PAL-3. If you would like a demo unit of this, please feel free to contact us. We would be more than happy to assist you. Demos are completely free for you to try out. All we ask is that you pay the return shipping, but we cover everything else. We really want you guys to try these units, all of our units, and just they're great additions to have in your company and industry that you are in for consistency, reliability, all around great units to have. I also just want to briefly mention the warranty period for this unit is 1 year, and when you register it, it will extend to 2 years. That is just something that we offer as well. I haven't mentioned that in any of my other previous meetups, so I just wanted to mention that today. The warranty period is a little different for some of our other ones, but for this specific unit, it will extend to 2 years when you register. All right. All right, guys, so thank you so much for taking the time to watch this meetup. This is our PAL-3 unit. Like I mentioned, if you want to demo this unit or try it out for yourself and see how reliable and consistent your products become with it, go for it. Email us, call us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. Also, if you miss any of our other meetups, feel free to let us know, and we'll be more than happy to send you the link. Please follow us on Instagram, all our socials, Facebook, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch more of our videos. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.